I guess I don't look that bad from here.
No, you can move in if you want. Go ahead. All right, we're recording, and I'm gonna do. We're recording here, and then we're gonna start the broadcast. All right, guys, we're live. What's going on?
All right, what's
Hello.
up?
We're here with Rebecca. What is it now? Rush?
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm gonna go for.
I actually want to hear that story. Because
Yeah, it was.
our
It was
listeners-
Rebecca Lucente.
Yes.
Okay, so I was born, and my parents.
This is gonna be a long story.
No.
Wow.
My parents both have a. My mom's last name is Leapag.
What is that?
Is that a pop-up
is
ad?
mayhem. Are you in good hands?
Yeah, it is.
Wow, that is a pop-up ad. Where is that from? That's crazy.
They don't like my story. I felt like
I
I was
guess
like,
so.
wah, wah.
We just did an Allstate commercial.
We do have a
I'm
lot of ads on the show. I hope that doesn't.
closing everything. All right, keep going.
My mom's last name is Leapag, which is kind of a crappy name. And my dad's last name is Sack, which is sack, like ball sack, like S-A-C-K.
Wow.
And that sucks. And my mother was an accountant, and she thought my dad's dad evaded his taxes or some bullshit. So she didn't want his last name. So then they had me, and they combined them, and my name was Rebecca Leapag Sack. And like in like elementary school, they'd be like, Rebecca Leapag Sack has a sack on her backpack. And I didn't enjoy that. Rebecca Leapag Sack has a sack on her backpack.
That is.
It doesn't
that
make
was-
sense,
Well, that was the insult.
but it hurt.
That's kind of creative, though.
It's
I
too
mean,
creative. And then in a high school, they would call me Pack My Sack and La Bowl Pack.
La Bowl Pack. There you
Yeah,
go.
that was probably the best, least offensive one. And then I met this dude, and I liked his last name. And I was like, it was Lucente. That's a pretty name. It means
Oh,
like
so you
light.
just took it?
I just like married him.
Oh, you just. Oh, all
I
right.
just like, got married.
What's it say in your driver's license?
It says Rebecca Lucente, and then when I got engaged, I called my younger sister, and the first thing she said was like, "Fuck you! How dare you leave me with this last name?" And then she got married, like a year later. And then when I got divorced, my mom and dad got divorced when I was like 13. So my mom's like, "Be Leapag," and my dad's like, "Be Sack," and I'm like, nobody wants to be Leapag Sack, and I don't want to be either of those, and I'm just gonna hang on to this crappy name because it pisses him off. And he never sent me like any alimony, so I kind of held the name hostage.
How long did you hold it hostage for?
I have been divorced for like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we don't have kids. There's no good reason for it.
To have the name, you just have it because you like it.
I have it because I didn't think of anything better yet. Kind of
Oh,
like
alright.
why some people have a husband.
That is a huge reason why people have husbands and spouses. Now, what?
Like winter's coming. Everyone wants to get warm.
Yeah, exactly.
Survival.
Well, it's the holiday season. We call it boyfriend season. You can call it spouse season, whatever. It starts right around. See, October's like, or Halloween's like the last great party where all the people go out and then they finally meet people, and then they got to get a significant other for the holidays. You need somebody for Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know.
I
And
just
then,
think it's for like to keep warm.
well, yeah, to keep warm too. I wonder if it happens in California.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
You know, that'd be something we should look into. But then, you know, it starts to wind down. You want to get your Valentine's Day gift, and then at St. Patrick's Day is when everyone goes crazy and goes to the parade and gets hammered, and just, you know, it's all over by then.
I don't like Valentine's Day. Like ever. It's just a disappointment.
Yeah, it is pretty.
That's
I
all
think
it
it's a
ever
lot of
is.
pressure for nothing.
It really is.
I think it's easier to be a guy. I'm going to adjust this camera, but just keep talking.
Did you ever have a good Valentine's Day?
No.
Never once?
Never?
No.
Oh, we should do something this Valentine's Day, like a podcast or go to New York or something crazy. Just like,
New
be like,
York.
I had a great pot, or, you know,
Valentine's Day?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll spend it with my single girlfriends. Oh, but Rush is like my grandmother's maiden name, and my favorite aunt like never got married.
I was like, we should all do something. Like, yeah, we'll just go to New York with or I'll hang out with my single girlfriends. I see how it is.
oh, you mean like? I knew.
Yeah, I
I
was
was just
joking.
like,
I know you did. All right, so Rush is your grandmother's maiden name.
and I
Which-
like it.
Okay.
Which grandmother?
My Jewish one, and she's the one I talk about on stage.
So that's your father's
Yeah,
father's mother. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
she's like 96. She smoked for like 83 of those years.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that happens to a lot of people.
Well, you have to quit eventually.
I guess.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, when you die,
Like being
right?
alive.
Yeah,
So is she still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So she didn't quit being alive. Yeah, that's.
No.
So did you legally change your name to Rush?
No, I just did it on Facebook, which took me a long time to figure out.
That's probably.
Which is really sad because I
That'll
use
probably
social
hold up in
media for a
court, right?
living.
I feel like it's almost more legit.
Yeah, it really is.
Facebook.
Right, nothing is
Like,
official until it's on Facebook, so...
Yeah, more than town records.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. When I get back, I'm going to Dallas in 10 days, and Austin, I have a gig in
Oh yeah,
Dallas.
tell us about that.
That sounds cool.
How'd you get that?
When I worked for oldglory.com as their social media manager.
What is it now?
Oldglory.com.
Oldglory.com?
Mhm.
Okay.
I was their social media manager 4 years ago, and through that I met, interacting on social media, some random band in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
The FNA, stayed in touch with them on my personal Facebook, and I just started doing comedy, and they were like, get down here sometime.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a few extra bucks, and I was like, where do I want to go next? I've done San Francisco scene, I've done LA. This is me taking myself, around and just checking out the different scenes.
Now, when you say
New
you've done
England's
it,
really tough for, especially a woman. It's so fucking puritanical and uptight,
oh yeah, we can get into that all day.
right?
How long? When you say you did San Francisco and LA, how long did you stay there?
The first time I went to LA, I was there for 2 weeks. The second time, I did LA for a week, and then San Fran for 3. And then the third time, I did San Fran for a week and a half, and then I went up to Humboldt County and performed there. And I went to Napa.
So the whole time you were doing comedy while you were there?
Mm-hmm.
And now, did you know
Yeah, I
people
did
there?
I just met them. I started out
So you just
meeting
flew
somebody
there?
on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
That's how I went to LA the first time.
Oh, all right.
And then people that I met that time went the second time. People that I met that time, third, just
Yeah, From what I've
It's
noticed,
pretty
it seems
sweet.
the comedy, the whole thing is pretty supportive. People are pretty supportive.
Yeah,
The
and
comedy scene.
there's comedy communes in San Fran, so I
Oh,
stayed
really?
there part of the time.
wow.
Oh wow, we need to get to San Fran there,
That
Adam.
sounds
Yeah.
really
What
cool.
are we
It's
doing
really
here?
sweet. There's one in the Bay Area, and there's one in San Francisco proper. And I'm not going to say that there isn't in my wake some men from Twitter that are angry with me for not having sex with them.
Because
Because I let them, I drank their drinks and smoked their weed, and
Gotcha.
looking back, I would never do that again. That's why I used Airbnb this time to go to Dallas. I am staying with married lesbians that I am paying.
Yeah,
It does not get safer than that in the Killing State.
yeah. This in the Killing State. Yeah,
Plus,
exactly.
I think I'll do well.
Well, this way,
Plus,
no.
they're paying me $75 for 15 minutes. It's a stage big enough that Britney
Oh,
Spears
wow.
could do her Toxic video and then go to Rehab and then do another video on the stage.
It's a pretty big stage.
They've never seen me perform. It's just this band.
How much time are you doing?
15 minutes.
15, yeah.
This band, I'm like, I want to go to Texas. I just put it on Facebook, right? And all of a sudden, this photographer that I know, that I've worked with all year, is like, I'll be in Austin. I have a hotel room. You can crash these dates. And this other guy's like, 3 days before that, we're the house band for this huge comedy night. Let me get you this gig. Boom.
It must be nice to be an attractive-looking female. If I put on Twitter that I want to go to Texas, everyone would be like, "Yeah, me too." You know what I mean? Or,
I mean,
I don't know.
there are strengths and weaknesses of it.
No, I
Yeah.
know. It's
That's
like
why I'm
anything
like
else.
paying the lesbian.
Yeah, no, it's like
Instead of,
anything else. Yeah.
This guy will totally get that, I would never hook up with him. It'll be fine.
And the whole time he's thinking to himself, "All right, cool, she's gonna come over."
I have a guy in San Fran holding some of my things for hostage because he just wants to get angry at me all over again for using him, because I posted on my blog that I was going to San Fran, and he was like, you can come stay with me, and I cooked and I cleaned his house, I did whatever the hell to contribute, right, while I was staying there.
Except you didn't.
Except I didn't.
Yeah.
Right. And that happens in comedy too. It's very frustrating because you guys can be friends with each other, you can be friendly to each other without some socially starved nut job being like, he likes me.
Oh yeah, that's the problem. Well, I found
It's
that
very
in comedy
frustrating.
there are a lot
'Cause
of
I made some mistakes, when I was getting too drunk.
Yeah, well, that happens. We've
Right.
all been there. And I found in comedy though, there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of people do comedy are people that have social issues, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you find a lot of the guys, some of them haven't really had a lot of experience with women, especially if they're younger. So if you're nice to them, they're probably interpreting it the wrong way.
And I think I used to I used to just give my power away because there's a couple comics that they're just the same person, but I've changed so much in the last year that I'm I don't want to deal with you like this anymore. And I can't be mad at them
Yeah.
because I'm this always worked for you before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. So I realized how much more control, instead of I think I could sit around and bitch about being a woman in comedy, or I could do what I can, to deal with the situation.
How long have you been in comedy for?
2.5 years.
2.5 years, okay. So do you feel like things are different now that you've established more of a name for yourself?
I still can't get any club work, which is ridiculous. Because when I leave Connecticut, I do great.
Yeah.
Club work where, in Connecticut?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not any clubs in Connecticut, though. I mean, you got Joker's in New Haven and the Funny Bone in Hartford.
That's true.
I mean, I feel like there's only so many spots that are available for local people, and it is tough.
Well,
but,
and here's the other thing. Like, I had this show Sunday night, and I wanted to get some female comics in.
Talk about that. Where was it?
Yeah,
It was at a bike shop in New London, Bike New London, which is a nonprofit. It's really, really cool. And I had Marty Caproni, Ari Bartlett. I had an intermission with like a local musician and my friend who's a hula hoop dancer. And it was really freaking fun. My bosses at the restaurant were there, which was like, I did like dirty jokes up front, but I just did like more established material. And then it was really fun. I ended up having a second show where I just went so dark because it was just my friends left.
Oh, really?
Like the second, a lot of people left at
What
intermission.
time was the second show?
Well, people just left at intermission, so it ended up being from like 9:30, 9:45 until 11.
Oh, okay.
It was like the second piece of the show, or maybe like 10 to 11.
I wanted to get there, but I DJ'd a wedding, and then it was
4 people back out on me, and 3 of them were women.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, like, and I thought of the times I've backed out on stuff, and I'm like, all the women. One was like, oh, I'm having kid-husband problems, and then the next one was like, I want
pizza's here.
Oh, sweet. The next one goes, she texts me that day, and she's like, I'm going into a partial hospitalization program so I don't end up like Robin Williams.
What?
I'm like, but you have to be funny.
Did you say that
She was like, do you want me to come or not? I was like, what do she want me to say to not kill herself?
Yeah.
Does she want to be rejected or she want to be left off the hook? I don't know. And then the other one was like, I can't stop pooping. So I was like,
wow.
Yeah, this all happened in like a day.
Yeah,
But that's really cool though too, and it kind of bummed me out. And I was like, man. So I decided I'm going to do a women in comedy class in New London through the Pigeonhole, and I want to do it like really want to work with like 10-year-old girls. It's like a self-esteem thing because little boys are allowed to be funny. They're encouraged to be funny, but except in certain cultures, like in mine, which is Judaism, women aren't really encouraged to be funny at a young age or to joke with each other.
Really?
And,
what is it like then? They're just told to know their place or be quiet?
I guess it's just.
What were you told growing up? Was it
that I was bad? I don't know.
Were you Orthodox?
No,
are.
Reform.
Okay.
Like we would eat pork and Chinese food, you know.
Okay.
But nobody ever made it. It's because my parents couldn't cook, but my housekeeper didn't make us pork.
Did you really have a housekeeper?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you grow up?
West Hartford.
Oh, okay, wow. And so your parents still there? Or?
My dad is, and he's in Boca like the other half of the time or whatever.
How old are your parents?
60.
Oh, okay, all right.
My mom lives in Westbrook, like at what used to be our beach house, is now our full-time house.
Do you still get along with them?
On and off.
Really, yeah.
Not like I'm totally the black sheep. I have an aunt that I'm very close with.
Who's
also been like black sheeped.
Oh yeah. Do you? I wanted to ask you. Do you have any brothers and sisters? That's what I want to ask you. Sorry, my brain is.
Yeah. I have a sister that is like the complete opposite of me. She's like married and has an insurance job that she hates, and she's always shopping.
Is she older or younger?
No, she's younger.
Really? How old is she?
She's, 4 years younger than me.
Oh, right. I don't know how old you are.
I know, that's what I just realized. I'm like, yeah.
So she's 40. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay,
she's still in her 20s.
So basically she's doing the whole American dream thing.
Yeah.
And she's miserable.
Well, she's always been miserable, but yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's really judgmental. We just are very different.
Do you talk to her then? Still?
No.
No, not at all.
Really? When was the last time you talked to her?
Like a few months ago, I went to my mom's and my nieces were there, and they were like, "Yeah," and she was like, "I didn't know she was going to be here," and she left.
Really?
Yeah.
But your niece is like.
She really dug me when I was married to a guy who made a lot of money and doing cocaine every day. Like that was fine.
She did it too?
No, she just liked that I had money, like and could do things for her.
Oh, that's.
She's got like no use for starving artist sister.
What can I ask you? Like, what was it that changed in your life where you went from being married to a guy who's got money and doing coke, and you were a social media? What did you say your title was? Social
media manager. That was after I got divorced.
Okay, so What made you go from all that to stopping that whole track and doing comedy and working in restaurants to I would presume to pursue comedy as a full-time gig?
I mean, they're not all related. Like, I left the marriage because it was horrible. And, like, we did so much cocaine that he lost that job and we lost everything.
What was he doing?
He was painting. He worked for a cigarette racing team.
Oh, okay.
So we would do all, like, the graphic design jobs on the boats.
Oh, wow.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, so we'd be partying with these boat buyers,
Yeah.
And it just got, like, really out of hand. We bought a house we couldn't afford. We were part of that whole, like,
The
everything
bubble.
wrong with America in
yeah.
Miami, like buying a house we couldn't afford, cars we couldn't afford.
Oh, you lived in Miami?
I lived in South Beach.
Oh, jeez, I didn't know that. I love South Beach.
I was like 22, wearing like $400 jeans, running around South Beach.
How old was he?
When I was 22, he was 39.
Oh, okay.
So he
Wow.
was 17 years older.
How'd you guys meet?
I saw like some painting of his at this nail salon, my friend, or a spa. My friend had a gift certificate too, and it was like the yin and yang of every woman, right? It was like a light woman and a dark woman back to back, like, darkness coming out of one, like, stars and light and crap. They don't have butterflies.
Crap. All
And
that crap.
and I was like, oh my god, there's a man who really understands women. And I was like, fucking, my panties got wet. And I was like, I had to meet this guy. And we were just together from the first date. Like, it was on. I moved in like 3 weeks later. We got engaged a couple months later.
Wow. So
And
the
then,
moral
wait,
is-
hold on. A few
hang
years
on,
later.
We gotta learn how to paint. All right, go ahead.
A few years later, I'm married. I'm living in a home in Miami Shores that we bought, that I put my, like, inheritance down on. And I opened this graphic design book, and there is this. He did not create it.
Oh, so he stole it.
Yeah, that's what he did with everything. And I noticed he was doing that with everything else, all his other jobs. Like, he'd be like, oh, this guy wants a chick on a motorcycle. I'm going to use this. And he'd be like, oh, drawings just take too long, and I got to make money now so I can buy more Armani Exchange t-shirts and paint
So
them.
he wouldn't even redraw it. He would use the actual.
He would, like, project it,
Oh, okay.
like, with a projector and trace it.
Oh my
Oh
god.
wow.
Yeah, and that was...
So it wasn't even
And
like
then
it
he
was
would,
an
like, put my
inspiration?
body parts and shit on these motorcycles. Like, I would notice, like, those are my nipples, man. Like, that's crazy. Nobody gonna get a commission. I mean, I guess that, like, didn't work, but...
Yeah, you kind of.
You know,
And how long did that last?
we were together, like, 5 years.
Oh wow.
And then I, like, got all freaked out because I thought I was really important and I didn't want to be dead at 27. Like, all the other great...
Just so you know, people who are smart can figure out how old you are now. Just so you know.
It's fine.
All right, I'm just letting you know. Okay.
I mean, that just means people are paying attention. And
Yeah, I hope so. Oh yeah. So then, yeah.
so, like,
so
I'm
it's
okay
fine.
with that, too.
If you're paying attention, that's fine. We can all.
Yeah, that's why I don't mind hecklers sometimes. I'm like, at least they're paying attention.
At least-
Not like my parents.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's going on in your...
Well, that's what I want to know. How did you get into comedy from that?
Oh,
Like,
I was
who's
my
asking?
Twitter started blowing up, and I wrote articles and poems, and I used to write, like, funny, stupid songs, like, as a hobby. Like, I never really... I remember watching Chelsea Handler, and it seemed like magic,
Mhm.
Like, how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't even... And I would just write my thoughts on Twitter,
Mhm.
and I would have followers that would, like, message me back, like, boom-sh, like, the soundbite, and I'd be like, what do you... I didn't get it, and I started paying attention to, like, people laughing at me, and then people started telling me I should do it. I went to, like, Snark NYC, which was a Twitter meetup of people who make jokes on Twitter,
Oh wow.
and one of them had used to be a comic or whatever before she had kids, which is, like, reason number 375 why I'm glad I never had kids. 'Cause I'm like, you can't do that and be a female comic.
Yeah, it's.
They
it's
think
rough.
they can, and then all of a sudden it's like 20 years since their last set, and they're like, I'm ready to do it now.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, you
got
know.
plenty of material, but it's 20
It's like
years
from
later.
the 80s.
Yeah, it's from the 80s.
What is your Twitter handle? So people.
It's
can-
Rebecca Lucente.
Okay.
That's why I put, like, the thoughts that aren't appropriate for Facebook.
Okay. Are you gonna change it to Rush or anything? Or?
Yeah, but I can't figure out how to do it.
Oh no.
I had to like Facebook search Facebook pages when I worked for a social media company to, like, that was my job. But nobody else knew anything about social media, and I'm good at the content of it. Like, I understand what people want to read about online.
Mhm.
But, like, the technical...
Oh, I see what
like,
you're saying.
Get
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
right? I write jokes for them on Twitter all day long. So then I'm writing all these jokes for these people about Aerosmith and Grateful Dead t-shirts. What about me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about, and so then...
So then what I kept doing is, like, working less and less and, like, being like, I have to go to comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have to do this. And they'd be like, if you don't work at least 40 hours, like, we're not going to keep you. And I'd be like, awesome. I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get unemployment. I thought it would be way more. And then it was my comedy scholarship, and that's how I spent my first year of comedy.
That's hilarious. That's exactly how I got into DJing, the same way. got laid off. And
I'm on a similar path right now.
Yeah,
I'm
he's unemployed right now too, and he's looking for work every day. He texts me how much work he's looking for. It's insane.
Oh yeah.
Are you his unemployment officer?
No, but he looks for jobs all the time, guys.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I do at least 3 a week.
Don't ever question him.
Do you look for gigs on Craigslist? Like, some guy paid me to blow cigarette smoke in his face when I was out of work last year.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was...
Did you have to go to him? He came
I
to
went to
you?
the casino.
Oh, all right.
But he liked it way too much, and then he wanted to talk about how bad it was, and I could see it was this shame cycle thing.
Oh.
It was
So
really
was it,
creepy. And then I won $200 on a slot machine, and I was like, peace!
Oh, nice.
How much would he pay you to do that?
He gave me $40 an hour.
Wow. And you just
I
sit
had to
next to
smoke,
him?
like, at least 3 cigarettes in his face in that hour. But, like, watching his face change, I'd be like, this is kind of like sending a picture of my dirty feet
Yeah.
to that dirty feet guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. At first, again, then you're...
it's like this cig smoke is somebody else's vag. You know?
I don't know.
You know what
Everybody
I'm
got quiet
saying.
on badge.
That's what
Giny. I like to say giny.
Chinese funny.
Yeah, that is funny. That's funny.
So, yeah, I don't think anybody's going to pay me to blow smoke.
You never know, man.
That's true.
I saw a gig looking, and this guy does it all the time, like in Guilford, which is not that far from here. He wants male waiters for his big gay parties.
Oh.
They probably.
What is a weeder?
Waiter?
Waiter.
Oh, waiter. Okay, I thought you said weeder.
He wants
What is a
people-
weeder? Is that like a fluffer for gay people?
He wants to blow weed smoke in your face.
Oh, yes! So clever.
That would be like a dream job. I think
Yeah.
you would still do that, though. You'd be like, all right, fine, I'll do
I'll
it.
just close my eyes.
I'll do it. He wants shotguns all day. All right, I'll do it.
I remember when I won the money, he's like, do I still have to pay you to hang out with me? And I was like, no, because I'm leaving.
Do I still have to pay you to hang out with me?
So, did you do it just on the casino floor?
Yeah, the race book.
Oh, all
And
right.
he, like, got off on people, like, seeing.
Mohegan?
Foxwoods.
Foxwoods? Okay, all right. Wow.
You know, I'm banned from the comedy club. I might as well make some money there.
Yeah, well, what happened there?
I'm not really banned. Well, I am. I don't know what their problem is. I really didn't do anything wrong.
Really?
Yep. I brought my dog there once to a Natasha Leggero show. But, like, I will always have that picture of my dog licking her face.
Oh, that's great.
Natasha Leggero was at Joker's?
She was at no, I'm not banned from Jokers. She was at Comics.
Comics.
Oh,
A couple
comics.
years ago. It was years ago.
All right.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So you got to meet her and everything?
Yeah, and she was so... I got to meet
What
a
was
lot
that
of
like,
famous
though? I mean,
female comics in my first year, and I felt like they were all, like, little bit fairy godmothers. They all gave me, like, really beautiful advice. I met Nikki Glazer at the Comedy Cellar. I met Amy Schumer on the street.
Wow.
Eliza Schlesinger got me a gig at the Comedy Store when I met her after meeting her at Foxwoods. I really didn't think that... She was like, message me if you're coming out to LA, and she actually did.
Oh, wow.
So there are so much less of us, but, like, the ones who are doing okay, like, it seems like we're like, hey, I know how hard it was for me, man.
You mean female
That's
comics?
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
Rachel Feinstein gave me really beautiful advice.
Wow.
She told me if a joke didn't, because I would throw jokes away, and I've been pulling jokes back that never worked because, like, of delivery and
Mhm.
just confidence, wording, as nothing, like, the jokes were fine. She was
Yeah.
like, try them again.
That's
I remember
great.
being like, Natasha, I keep bombing. Like,
Now, do you get any advice like that from people, local people? You don't have to name names. I'm just wondering.
I get, like, twisted up advice, I feel like. Like, somebody told me I shouldn't talk about aging at all. I shouldn't talk about that I'm freaked out, that I'm trying.
No, I mean, like, positive advice, though. Like,
no.
somebody's
yeah,
like, I
yeah,
like
you
that,
know what?
should
Some
do
people
that.
somebody told me that I was funnier than my favorite comic.
Really?
Yeah.
And this is another comic? That's
Yeah, this
oh,
is
wow.
another comic in Connecticut.
That's awesome.
Which was really kind. Yeah, there's some people that have been really great to me. And it's just like, it's such a relief when it's easy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Especially if they're being nice to you because of comedy. Because, I mean, you're probably, as a female, you're used to guys trying to be nice, and you're not sure why they're being nice. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I like the most about traveling, because in comedy, all you have to do, which I learned the first time in LA and San Francisco, is show up, be funny, and then the world opens up to you.
Mhm.
People are inviting you to crash on their couch. They're like, it's not even comics, just like people. They feel like they know you because we get on stage, we're like soul strippers.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, here's the one with my shirt off and my usual boundaries with people. Like, here, take another piece of my usual boundaries off. And by the end of the show, you know more about me than my mother does,
Yeah.
except for what I look like. You know everything about me except what I look like naked. It is like the opposite of stripping and the same at the same time.
Yeah, that's. Oh, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah,
Is that a concept you came up with just thinking
Like
about
last night.
it? Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep. You should write that down or something. I know that sounds weird, but
Yeah. I should write
maybe
more
you
down.
said you have a blog, right?
Yeah.
You should
Yeah,
make
start
that a blog
writing again.
article.
I like have all this shit banging around in my head, and then I accost people all the time and just be like meh at them, you know.
You want to see what their
ideas.
reaction is, kind of, or you
I
just
guess, and I'm
leave
also lazy. I'm like, I don't feel like writing this down. Blah blah blah.
it?
I'm the same way. I wish I wrote down more things that came to my mind that just don't ever end up getting anywhere.
I'm the opposite way. If I get an idea, I know I have to write it. So no matter what's going on, and I'm driving and I start texting it to myself, and almost kill myself all the time. So I guess at least I'll die doing what I love, right?
That's right.
He was writing comedy.
What?
They're gonna look.
Texting?
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, exactly. I love to text.
Driving.
It's gonna be some shitty joke too. They're like, you died because of this? Doesn't even make
I
sense.
think that joke would have died too.
It's fun when you find a note though, and you don't know
What it means?
what the hell it means.
Yeah,
Like I found one that said
exactly.
like
Oh, yeah.
social media and pictures. Send me a mail of your baby. If you care about your baby, 41 cents worth. I was like, what? Am I like writing or kidnapping? Like, why is this baby only worth 41 cents? I don't get it. And I found one that said glitter makeup, and I have no idea what that was about. But it made me think about this girl that I knew from a coffee shop. I was like, oh, you should let me do your makeup one time. She's like, no, I really don't like makeup. Every time that I put it, and then every once in a while I forget that, and I put it on, and I'm like, oh, I remember now why I hate this. I'm like, that's how I feel about hooking up with girls.
What did she say? Was she like, oh?
She laughed, and
Oh, okay.
I was happy. I got over the fact that she rejected my makeup offer. She got over the fact that she felt like I was calling her ugly, and we all laughed and were happy. Nobody
See?
was offended.
You took all that negativity and you made happiness. That's great.
Yeah,
That's good stuff.
yeah.
I find it interesting what you said about like the how you got so much help from like female comedians. Do you feel like there's like more camaraderie that women in comedy have like versus men in comedy? 'Cause I
No,
feel
not
like-
at all. I feel like it's so rare that when you find it, you like cling on to it like a desperate little sad person that nobody's ever been nice to, and you're like, oh my god, like a like a cat that's pregnant and winter's coming. And you're
What?
like, these people looked at me. I'm gonna be outside their house every night screaming.
That's a good analogy. But I mean, I think what he means is with the females, do you think they're tighter because they
No.
know what they had to go through?
No, I think maybe when people get to a certain level, but like, I mean, girls have been cool. All the girls have been cool lately, but we're so spread out, But at the same time, I think maybe sometimes you're gonna have a reaction to another girl. They're not gonna just not ignore you.
Yeah,
It's like,
because like you're the only two girls in the place.
yeah, usually.
Yeah.
So like, I try to go out of my way to like be nice, but I didn't always.
No.
We've all grown a lot, I think.
Oh yeah.
Ever since the 2012 shift.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
Do you think that I was gonna say, do you keep in touch with any of them still, like on Twitter or Facebook or anything? Any
Yeah, they
interaction?
all follow me on, or they don't all follow me. I follow them all. Straight. I'm friends with some of them.
That's cool. I met Nikki Glazer at Stand Up New York for like a quick second. I
I'm
said hello.
sure she doesn't
She
remember
seems
me.
so nice.
She was really kind.
Yeah, she was to me too.
It was just inspiring. It didn't matter to like keep in touch with them specifically. It was just those little moments, where you feel like you're being encouraged along your weird, creepy journey. And
Yeah. Well,
sometimes we get like, why am I doing this? Like, and I get tired. I'm like, I don't feel like going to yoga or open mic, and I just feel like drinking beer and having sex with people.
yeah.
You know?
That's a good part of life too. But there's a balance. You can't just drink beer and have sex because then you get fat and.
I know, and then only your yoga pants fit.
Yeah, that's true. I think being horny is kind of motivation more for guys, I guess, because women it's a lot easier to score. But guys, they get horny and they're like, all right, I got to go do things and make money and do this to impress women, kind of thing. So they got to get out of their house, unless
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know. That just came out of my head, but so I guess it's not a bad thing. But like you said, you're right. You can't just sit home and drink and screw all day. I mean,
No.
you could, I guess. It sounds like a good
You
idea.
gotta bite the bullet and go to that open mic that you might
Yeah.
not necessarily want to go to. Or
That's actually why I started all these open mics. I'm running 3 open mics now, and everyone's
That's
like,
so awesome.
that's what they're saying. But I tell people, I'm like, yeah, it sounds like I'm doing a lot of things for other people, which I am. But the real reason, one of the reasons is I know that if I'm doing it, I have to go. But if it's like Joker's Wild, like tonight, probably just going to skip it and make up a reason not to go. But if I'm running the open mic, I know I have to do it. Yeah. So that's why I'm doing it. So now it keeps me, doing it because it's not
so much stronger.
Fall out of it. Oh yeah.
Hosting open mics.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Especially like that one in Bridgeport, the one in Murphy's Law.
Yeah, that's
because there's a lot of hecklers a lot of times and stuff. So I'm so used to it. I just get up there, grab the mic, and it's like whatever. I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not even really nervous. Well, not at all actually. I'm just worried. The only time I get nervous is if I'm doing a longer set that I might forget things. But the being on stage part now doesn't really even bother me. Like, I like to talk to people. It's cool.
I used to really attach to things that I would forget, and sometimes I still get like, it's annoying, but like they don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, get over myself with like how important do I think that one line was that it would have changed anything or everything. Like if I had a good set, I had a good set. Like, oh, too bad they didn't hear that clever line.
Yeah. Well, I'm more worried about like I'm just gonna forget everything that I gotta say and be up there like, what was I gonna say? And then, oh no, just
you don't
like
even have enough
out.
material at this point that like you could just go somewhere.
Yeah, I do, but I also just worry that I might blank out.
If you're worried in like a long hosting set, like an open mic, that you're gonna tell the same joke twice if you drink or something.
No, not really. I think I'm pretty good with keeping track of what I said. It's just the recalling what I want to go, or sometimes I go the wrong. Well, like you said, it doesn't matter if you go the wrong way because they don't know. So. Yeah,
sometimes it feels like it changes your momentum.
Yeah.
Like it's weird how much live comedy is about the energy exchange.
Oh yeah.
Like have you ever been at karaoke and you watch like a mediocre singer kill the room and then a beautifully like amazing singer get no attention?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that was like the beginning of me starting to get better on stage with delivery and presence.
Wow, that's a great analogy. I never thought of it that way.
Because I always get pissed off, or maybe you guys do, when I see like really horrible, like what I consider to be just stupid jokes, hacky material, bad, unoriginal shit, it's like a bad comic with great energy. It's like a Katy Perry song.
Yeah. That's another great analogy.
I'm a writer, like that's what I like went to school for, was creative writing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a waitress.
But do you think if that works, maybe it's not hacky, because there are certain comedians that aren't clever, but they're just funny because they're up there being themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
even
I guess
if it's not,
because they're not like what I think like is like super smart comedy.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of comedians make mistakes, because they think they're trying to make other comedians laugh at open mics, and so they try to be a little clever. They try to be what they're not, and then once you get up, and then you see these people that just have no idea, and they just go up there and they're themselves and they do well. I'm starting to notice that a lot, because I used to think the same way, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of. Not that it's hacky, but it's just, oh, whatever. And then, then I see people laughing, and I'm like, well, this is what it's all about. When people are laughing,
Right, it's all about everybody having a good time.
Yeah.
So much like, damn it, I forgot we're videoing, and I'm like scratching my chin and shit.
That's okay.
Shit.
Say hi. Yeah, I don't. Like I was telling you on the phone, I didn't even spike my mohawk. It's just I look like I have a mullet.
I don't like it like that.
Ooh. Don't look at me like that when you say that.
Should I just go?
Someone's got to hold the camera at him.
Ay. The camera holds itself.
Have you ever gotten any heckles like about you being a woman?
No, but I'd really like to see in my lifetime women get on, like a host bring a woman to the stage without being like, next up, a lady, like I'm an alien or something.
Do you feel like you have to have you ever told the host beforehand, like, don't bring me up like that?
No, because I just pissed me off last week. Like, I just thought of it and was like, that's this bull. Like, I just, like, was thinking about things, thinking about, like, gender equality, thinking about how Sarah Silverman made that video where she was, like, pretending she was going to get...
Just so you know, I know how I'm going to bring you up every time now.
She get, like, just...
It's a lady!
Gender...
Right. I can't wait.
Like, I have to get a dick to get paid. Like, that's how I feel in comedy, too. And I'm just like, yeah, this isn't... a lot... This girl told me in Connecticut, she was like, yeah, my friends love comedy, but when we see, like, a girl come on, that's, like, when we go have a seg.
Really?
Like, you're a woman. They're like,
wow.
That is, like... Not cool, man.
Well, this brings us to that video.
Women used to only be able to perform in, like, one little room. And you have to, like, give Joan Rivers had to
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say
blow
Joan
everyone to
Rivers.
get on stage, and then she'd just be like, "Ugh," you know, like, "Can I tell my jokes now?" It's like you don't have to do that anymore.
Man,
but,
why
like,
can't we go back to those days?
I think if you want to perform in a club, you still do. So
Oh, really? You think so?
I don't know.
I don't really know. I
I don't know. Sometimes I think, and then like there was that girl who like fucked everyone in Rhode Island, and now she's banned.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
Who is this?
It just doesn't matter.
why was I in Connecticut?
it
Don't
was
say.
And she made her way into some Connecticut beds too.
Hmm.
It was a brief period, like 2 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah, and that wasn't cool, man. Because if it was a guy, it would not have happened like that.
so they banned her because of that, or
Yeah.
someone got jealous or something? Or?
No, because she gave everyone chlamydia.
Oh, yeah, that's still no reason.
But you know what? One of
ban
them
somebody
probably, that's like personal, right?
She probably got it from one of those guys.
Why don't any of you use condoms?
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong
That's
with you?
another.
Probably got it from one of you, and then you all shared it together, just like you shared jokes. It's fine.
It's like
It's like chlamydia is like the get over it.
it's like the hacky joke of
You
the.
took 2 pills and it's done now.
Yeah.
That makes me sound like I'm from Rhode Island. I'm not. No. I'm like, you guys, let's not talk bad about other comics during this show.
Yeah, no, we're not. I
we're
wanted to
not.
talk
We're
about
talking
that video.
okay.
No, the video.
That was the best thing I've
Okay,
ever
let's
seen
set it
in my
because
life.
people don't. All right, because we were talking about it off
Yeah,
camera.
what is
Okay.
that video?
I
Okay,
saw it
so
on Facebook. today.
fuckhate.com.
Okay, it's
came out-
FCKH8, right?
Right, FCKH8.com came
Okay.
out with this video of like age range of 6 to 9-year-old girls, and they're dressed up like princesses, and they're swearing, and they're like, "Do you think a little girl saying fuck is offensive? It's not as fucking offensive as pay inequality."
Yeah, the
And
little
then they-
girls saying it.
and the
they're
little
like,
girls
what
are
the
like,
fuck is going
Stop
on?
fucking telling us little girls like how to dress and start teaching boys not to fucking rape,
Yeah, that was pretty good.
right?
And then they
Like,
said,
and they're like, and they focus on how like women are pretty, and like that's a compliment. However, it makes us that focus makes us think that that's our worth, and then we get obsessed with stuff. You have eating disorders, like
yeah, and then you have to be pretty.
it
to be
is not
accepted.
cool. Like, how come we still? Why are we making women who get straight A's in college make the same money as a man who gets C's? Like, just because you don't have a penis? And then when they tell boys not to act like a girl, like you're saying that girls are bad.
Yep, this is all stuff.
This
that
is
was-
all
yeah.
from the video. Like, and I was watching this, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm so proud to live in a world where we can even say this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
Oh yeah.
instead of being like, this is all messed up, but I can like see it changing.
Well,
Like the fact
it's
that
been
this video
changing.
could be made.
Yeah, I think if they made that like, during the '90s or even 20, 30 years ago, people.
I think
flipped
even
out.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I think people are starting to wake up to it. Like Eddie Pepitone's special In Ruins. He's
don't
making
think I saw that.
serious political and social statements. Like, he really has something to say.
What's he talking about? I
He's
didn't
talking
see.
about how, like, the government is bullshit. And, like, there's poison in
The
our
government's
food.
not bullshit.
But there's, like, poison
No,
in
it
our
is.
food.
Yeah,
and,
no,
like,
I know. Yeah, trust me, I'm on board with
we're,
that.
like, living in this
We
post
could do a whole new podcast about
He talks
that.
about how, like, in Brooklyn, they're, like, opening grilled cheese shops instead of organizing for lower rent.
Yeah.
Basically that we're just all soft and bogus, and he's just, like, doing this horsey dance of, like, and let me entertain you.
Yeah, if you look at what's
But
going
it's
on in Hong
brilliant.
Kong.
He couldn't make that. Nobody would watch it even 2 years ago. It's
Yeah.
too dark.
Well, people would, but it would be the fringe. But now it's starting to move toward
Yeah,
the center.
that idea.
But that happens, I think, with everything. It starts off as a fringe idea, and then it comes into the mainstream. So.
That's what I'm hoping for my comedy career to be like.
I want to start in the middle and then go to the fringe and just like go off the rails. And I was like, wow, what happened to Brandon, man? He had so much talent,
Yeah, I used
He's
to perform in a bike shop.
he's
in
blowing
the
monkeys in the fucking zoo now.
Blowing monkeys?
At the zoo, yeah. I don't know.
Are they paying
It's a
you?
dark path.
No, not now, but I'm saying that.
No,
That's
but in
the,
this story.
No, probably not. I would probably sneak in and do it later.
You live.
It's not about money, man. Life's not all about money, Rebecca. Jeez, you should know. It's about being happy. If I want to blow monkeys, I'm going to go to the zoo.
Would you swallow?
It depends, I guess, if I was hungry.
Oh.
Only the alpha male.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get my eyes ripped off by the other one. Ooh, you were going to say something, I think, right?
I was just gonna say like about Americans being soft and stuff. If you look at what they're doing in Hong Kong, they're staging these massive protests.
Right.
Oh,
I think we tried that with Occupy Wall Street, but maybe it was a little too soon, and homeless people kind of.
It got hijacked.
Well, we made it all about, like, hacky sacks and freaking Dr. Bronner soap.
Well, the anti-war, there was a big anti-war movement right before Obama got in, and then he kind of hijacked that, and everyone's like, yeah, we're not going to go to war. And once he got, elected and everything, people just looked the other way as we went to more wars, you know? So it's...
Like, what if we had the technology that they have for war. They'd be crazy. Like, the government's technology for the military is so far beyond ours.
Oh yeah.
We could watch so much better stuff.
Yeah, I heard
so many better episodes of Trailer Park Boys. We could watch it in HD. You ever see that show?
No, but I've been hearing about it for years.
Yeah, I just started watching it, and I've been binge watching it. I don't know, I can't even point out anything, because if you watch it, it's ridiculous. But maybe that's what makes it funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like that Canadian sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's very different from
Yeah.
America's sense of
But
humor.
I think they're all fake Canadian accents. I don't know if they're really... It takes place in Canada, but they're overly fake. It's like me trying to fake a Canadian accent
I think
bad.
it's made in Canada.
Oh, is it
I don't
made-
know
oh.
if the actors are all Canadian.
Do you
Oh,
think
okay.
trashy Canadians have a stronger accent, like Brits?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it like poorer parts of England have like a much harder accent?
Yeah, they're like Cockney and stuff.
Right, and it's like really more. It's more abrasive to listen to.
Yeah, that's true. That could be true.
What's your cat's name?
I have 2 cats. That is Thumper, I believe, and the other one is Snickers.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm the crazy cat guy.
I like it.
Yeah. I lived here with my ex-girlfriend. We moved in here, we got the cats, and then we split up and she left, and we were doing shared custody of the cats because we were still pretty good friends. Then she moved to Montana, and I kept the cats. And the day that she was leaving, I thought she was leaving the next day, so she came. It was a Sunday night. She said goodbye, and she was crying. She was like really upset. And then I had to leave and go do a comedy show after watching her cry. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, we've all had to do that though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You had a
really
girlfriend that
shitty
left
day.
to go to Montana. Oh, yeah.
But you have a really shitty day, you have a breakup, you're crying, you get in a fight with your parents, your life is a mess, and then you have to go be like, let me entertain you.
Yeah.
Every time my parents and my sister want to come and see a show, and they always get into a fight every single time inevitably because they just can't agree on just the time to get there, everything. So it's like there's always a huge fight.
And you're there?
Yeah, I'm usually there. And it's got to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to invite them anymore. And
You have parents and sisters that want to see your show?
Well,
All of a sudden just was like, oh.
What's that like?
they don't want to see it all the time. If
ever?
it's a special event or something, they'll come see it. They've seen me maybe 4 or 5 times.
My mother was like, oh, I guess you'll be better at that than karaoke. I'd be like, Mom, people laugh, they're drunk. They're drunk, bitch.
That's funny. I'm really lucky. My parents are, they had me when they were really young, and they were pretty much super hippies. So they are really supportive, and plus I'm a lot older than most people that are just trying to start out in comedy, so.
Well, you have more of a point of view.
Yeah, but I mean,
More
it's not
of a
like
say.
it's not like when I was younger, my dad was trying to tell me I have to go to school or the military or whatever, and it's not like I want to be a comedian. It's like I came up to him when I'm 37. I'm like, hey, I'm doing comedy. They're like, okay, cool, we'll come check it out. It's so
Yeah, like
I guess
as
it's a
an
lot
adult.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
So, but yeah, they've been really supportive. They came to a few of my shows. It's been a good time. But I could see that thing with the fighting. Oh man, that's got it. And then does it affect your performance? You think, like the whole just the mood it puts you in?
It's hard because if I want to like look at notes, I can't because there's like people screaming. This just recently happened when I did a contest at the casino.
Oh, Mohegan.
Yeah, Mohegan. So they wanted to all meet up before we went to Mohegan,
Mm-hmm.
and just meeting up and having them just bickering about like whose car was going to be in what spot in the driveway.
Oh, wow.
And like that turning into something else, which turned into it was just a huge mess. And then my dad ended up parking in a spot he didn't park in, so he walked out of the house a different way, and he ended up falling.
Oh
And
no.
he broke his right wrist and his left ankle. So he had to so my mom was blaming my sister because my sister didn't park in the spot they wanted her to park in.
Oh no.
And
Oh, God.
yeah. So it's like this situation has played out pretty much every time they've come.
You
to
should.
me for
That
more.
really sounds like it should be in a sitcom or something, or a short story or some kind of movie where come see Adam do comedy, and it's just your parents just fighting, but just make it go comically too far. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Well,
But-
thanks. That takes the rosy glasses off, my idea of parents coming to see them.
It's not fun.
Sorry.
I don't know anybody. I mean, you just said that you didn't mind when your parents came and saw.
Yeah, no, I love when they come. It's fun. I actually talked about my mom a few times. I talked about how she smoked weed when she was pregnant with me, and she was right there, and she's just laughing, she doesn't.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they don't.
Did either of you see that Maria Bamford special, the special?
I did.
Mhm.
Yeah. I honestly thought that that's like the hardest. I feel like that is like the hardest special you can tape.
It was amazing.
What's it about?
She taped her new hour in her house with only her parents
Oh,
as
I
the
heard
audience.
something about that.
And they're like sitting on the couch, and she like gave them pizza. She took a break to give her dog eye meds.
Oh, wow.
It was, and she had to keep that energy up.
Yeah.
And she's making fun of them.
Yeah.
Like, and that's all she's got for energy, for crowd.
Wow. How were they responding?
They were laughing, and they were
yeah.
so cute.
Oh, that's awesome. I heard that. It was funny because I was just
so
listening
cool.
to a podcast, and I think it was Ari Shaffir and Joey Diaz, and they were talking about that. That's funny that we just brought that up.
It was like unbelievably brave.
Yeah, it really is. You'd think like doing a special in front of like 3,000 people in a huge theater would be scarier, but I think I don't know. I feel like if I was given either of those options, I would rather do the theater for 3,000 people.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
I feel like it would be easier than doing it in your living room.
Well, the energy is much more infectious with 3,000 people.
Well, plus they're invested. They want to. Like, it reminds me of when I waitress an event, like a really nice wedding or something at this nice inn that I work at. People, like, you have to be really horrible for them to even notice, or else they're super happy. Like, you have to spill all the wine and like auction food off. Like, but when you're like have a table of 2 people.
Oh yeah.
That's when you are like the most pressure's on you.
Wow, that is a great analogy. I didn't think about it.
I never thought of that.
I'm all about that analogy today.
Yeah, it's kind of the same when I DJ, because when I do a wedding, everyone's there for people. They're happy about it.
Yeah, you really, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah, and then when I do like a bar or club, it's all people that came separately and stuff.
They want you to really entertain them.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine being a bartender would be even harder like that. People would like expect even more out of you.
Oh yeah.
Like in terms of like conversation and
Yeah, we're at a wedding. They just want to get hammered, so
yeah,
it's open bar. They're not paying. They're like,
they want to
cool.
just play with their friends.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. I didn't even think about it that way. That's pretty crazy.
I was actually a bartender for about a year.
Oh, really?
Where?
It was at a hotel lobby bar in a hotel.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it wasn't a typical bartender experience, and a lot of the people who came to the hotel there was a big pharmaceutical company that was right next door.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times they were flying in executives from other places. So the executives would always stay at the hotel. So that was pretty much like the clientele. So it was strange. It was a really small bar, but like I could definitely see that bartender mentality of like people coming to talk to you and like you having to like reciprocate back.
Do you have any crazy stories or anything, or?
Not between me and any of the customers.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, that was always pretty standard. One guy, we had to call the cops on because he was just he was so drunk, and he was drinking more and more. It turned out that basically it was the anniversary of when his daughter died. His daughter died a year before. Yeah, and he wasn't at home. He wasn't with any loved ones or anything. He was just at this hotel.
Oh man!
And it was late. I served him a couple like scotches straight up. He downed like 3 of them within about half hour, 40 minutes, and I was like, all right, I don't want to serve this guy anymore. He needed help from the security guard at the hotel to get back up to his room. Ended up hitting his head on the elevator on his way back up because he fell over.
Uh-huh.
And then they found a huge bottle of, I don't know if it was scotch or whiskey that was like almost completely gone. That it had turned out he was like drinking all that before he actually came down to the bar.
Oh wow!
But he must have just drank it because he wasn't. He was fine when he walked in.
Yeah.
But it was like after that 1.5 hour, I was like, all right, this guy definitely isn't drunk from the 3 scotches I gave him. I mean, yeah, those are strong drinks and you're probably feeling it, but something was definitely wrong. And then they told us the next day that it was like the anniversary of his daughter died.
Oh man, that's horrible.
I remember being like, wow. And here I am just being like, oh, I hate this fucking job.
Yeah.
I want to leave.
Like, and then you realize that
and then you realize, wow, there's people who have like real issues.
Yeah.
Problems.
Oh yeah.
When I go to work an event at work, when it's on the schedule, they'll be like, you're coming in for this for a bridal shower, or for this for a wedding, and then they just don't say anything. And the first time I walk in, I'm like, yeah, I love weddings, and I'm like, it's a funeral.
Oh man.
I'm like, the jig is up, you guys. Like, I know you don't say when it's a funeral. You always tell me when it's a baby shower.
Oh, and then when it's a funeral,
they just say nothing. They just say event. You have an event.
That's got to be
like
strange.
A life celebration.
Yeah.
It's weird trying to sell people like, okay, so there's beer, wine. So there's maybe 2 wines and beers that are included, like with whatever deal they've set up with the owners of the place that I work.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but people, it's way easier to get people to drink at a wedding, obviously.
Yeah.
Especially funerals are during the day, and then sometimes they kind of look at you like you did something wrong by Like, my job is to get rid of the drinks on this tray, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about, like, how close you were to the deceased or what day you start drinking.
Yeah.
Like, that's not my prob.
Yeah.
But it's also easier, too, because once I go around, like, once, I'm like, they don't want more drinks. They don't
Yeah.
want more food. They just, like, feel... They do want drinks and food, I think, though. That's the worst thing.
Well,
Probably more than the wedding people.
Yeah.
But they feel like...
They're like,
I'm getting to
they don't
drink
want-
drinks
and
and
they
eat
probably
food,
don't-
and my
yeah.
friend is dead.
And they don't want to be the first one to, I guess, you know, and they don't want to be the only ones doing it if no one else is doing it.
Yeah, it's like a middle school dance.
Yeah.
You're like super self-aware in that situation. You know, where
Jeez.
every little thing that you think about doing is like, oh.
Yeah, I hate going to
Yeah, death is
funerals.
coming for us all, though.
Yeah, no,
I don't know why
really
we act
is.
like it's so special.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's still,
like,
people
oh,
get
that's
so
like, I
attached.
don't want to, like, it's going to happen.
Well, in this
If I act
society...
a certain way, then, like, this won't ever happen to me.
Yeah, well, this society is very materialistic, so people get
Yeah.
very attached to things and people. You know, so it's a lot harder, which I've been trying to work on myself, but it's hard. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
Especially when you
I
grow
realize,
up
like, it's in everything. Like, oh, look at me here, like, having a scarcity mindset about people. You know, it's not just about material things. Like, that
Yeah.
belief, like, when a relationship ends and you think you're never going to care about anyone again, like, what is that? But, like, that bullshit scarcity mindset of, like, thinking you have to stay in a job because there are no more other jobs for you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you
A
get in
lot
that
of people
mindset,
are
it
in that
becomes
mindset.
true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there before. I wouldn't quit jobs. I would just, if I didn't want to be there, I would, like, sabotage it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, part of me really was, like, going to
collect
stand up for
unemployment?
myself. No, just to get
No,
fired
I know,
so I
I
didn't
know.
have to be there anymore.
No, I meant to get fired.
And I would do
to collect
that with
unemployment.
boys, too, you know? But, like, my ex-husband would not blow. He was like when you pick your nose and you got a boogie and you're just like,
He would,
it just would not blow off. Like, the boogie would beat you up before it would blow off.
You couldn't find it. So how did it finally end? Can you just move the mic a little bit?
Yeah, well, he
There you go.
likes to say, he ran out of money.
Oh, and then you left because of that? That's what he
I mean,
says?
our life was a mess. It went from, like, partying on the Gansevoort roof deck, like, hookers and blow and, like, these, you know, all this nice stuff. I had a brand new Lexus. We bought this house. And then he, like, did so much coke, he lost his job. And he was doing coke with his boss. So, like, that's a lot of coke to lose the job when you're doing it with your boss.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Right? Pretty bad.
Jeez.
Like, falling through boats and stuff, sleeping in his office during the day.
Wow.
And, we just, like, lost everything. And it just got so ugly and I couldn't stop. And I wanted to stop and he didn't. So I left.
So finally you just
So I left and went to rehab, and then once I was sober for like a week, first of all, I wanted to go to the rehab Britney Spears went to, and I really thought that I deserved that. And I
Well,
tried
you
to
were
get my
partying
dad.
like a rock star.
Well, yeah, and I like
Yeah.
just thought that's what I deserved. I thought it'd be nice, like spa vacation, and then like
Mhm.
maybe I could finally get away from him
Mm-hmm.
because he just told me like I couldn't take care of myself. He'd like send me back to my mother, and like nothing was
Your
worse
dad
than
would or
that.
your ex would?
My ex-husband.
Oh, okay.
I mean, same thing, right?
Yeah.
Why did I marry a man that much older than me?
So did
Don't
You
you,
said
send
it,
me
not
back
me.
so did you go to the Britney Spears Rehab Center?
I went to a very nice one, and my dad Jewed them down. I can say that because I am a Jew. He got the price in half.
Wow.
But they were like, this is your one nice rehab, and I didn't really believe them. And then I had to go to, like, state the next time.
Oh, and
That was it.
Yeah.
Like, I was the only person there that didn't have, like, I didn't know a maroon t-shirt is what they wear in jail. I'm like, why all these girls got the same maroon t-shirt? Because they all came straight from jail.
Ooh, yeah, that's no
Yeah,
joke,
that was
right?
fun for me.
Yeah.
How long did you spend there?
55 days.
Wow. And wait, how
The
long
The
did
first
you...
rehab, I was, like, 6 months.
Wow, really?
Oh, wow.
6 months?
I didn't know it was that long.
I
Is
mean,
it
yeah, when you're
different?
paying out of your pocket, they're like, you need more help.
Yeah.
When you're being paid for by the state, they're like, you're done.
Yeah, How far did you... That was- you should write that down. That's
Oh.
I think that might work on stage.
Maybe.
How far in between the first rehab and
And
then?
the second one?
Yeah.
3 years?
Oh, okay.
What happened the second time?
I just, like, I got out of this really horrible, like, really just messy relationship. I got involved with this guy who's in the middle of a divorce and like, with, like, all sorts of crazy child fighting and, like, restraining order
no.
shit. And I was just like, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And I was, like, about to be homeless. And I was like, this will be great. I'm moving with you. And everything will be fine. And, like, it all surprised when it ended badly.
Surprise.
And then I just, like, was so sad about it. I just, like, couldn't stop drinking. And I, like, didn't know what the hell else to do with myself.
Mhm.
And I was, like, driving around in the northeast corner of Connecticut in the winter. And I'm, like, got so drunk one night. And I was, like, driving in the ice. And I was like, dude, you can't do this no more.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, forget this.
So you decided to go in. After
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I did. Did that.
And they said that they're not, were your parents, or they said they weren't going to help you, or your dad?
Oh, yeah, they were like, hell no.
You said, yeah, we already did that once.
I was like, I'll figure it out on my own. I did it.
How long ago was that?
That was 2 years ago.
And how have you been doing since?
I've been doing really well.
That's good. Yeah, I know. I saw.
I end up taking like 6 months off a year from drinking, and then like summer comes around, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this time of year, it's like fall. It's kind of like the stages of life, you know. It kind of makes you feel oldish.
Yeah.
In the fall, and you're like,
makes you feel like getting a boyfriend.
Like getting a boyfriend.
Like my callbacks.
Yeah, I do like your callbacks. It does make you feel like getting a boyfriend and just reading a book and drinking some tea, you know? Like, that's where I'm at, because I'm like, you know, in the fall, you like are middle-aged feeling.
Yeah. And then
like, I just want new Uggs. Like, oh, if I stop drinking beer for like a month, I could probably have a new pair of Uggs by the time I really need them.
Yeah. It's a good point. It's a good point.
I had a question for you.
We got about 5 minutes left, guys,
Okay.
just so you know in the hour.
So you expressed growing up Jewish, and we were just talking about
Jewish.
Jewish. Okay.
Yeah, like country club, you know?
Oh, okay.
Like, I still like bacon and uncircumcised penises.
Okay. So what do you
Sweet,
think about...
I have both of those.
Should I leave? Or
No, I was just stating a fact.
No, I was just gonna say, what are we were just talking about death a few minutes ago. Do you believe in like the Jewish? Are you religious Jewish?
I'm like more spiritual than anything. Like, I want to believe that like reincarnation is a thing, but that's also like really egotistical.
Well, what is like? I'm not Jewish. What does it say like after you die? What happens?
I'm not Jewish either, I guess.
Do you know what that says?
I know. I'm like, there's no hell and
yeah, no.
Blah blah blah. I know, like, we have to get buried right away. We don't embalm the bodies. You get buried in like a simple shroud. There's no like dressing you up all fancy like.
Like those damn Gentiles.
Whatever. You can't be buried. I know random things. You cannot be buried in a Jewish cemetery with a tattoo.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
So what do you think happens after death then? You take the more spiritual path?
I mean, what I want to think is that, like, you kind of have some weird in-between time where you, like, have a hard time getting to wherever next place you're going to, and you just kind of, like, review your life, and, like, I think some people get stuck there, and that's, like, what ghosts are, and never, like, make it to wherever the hell they're going.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, depending on, like, I don't know what happens in the in-between time, but I think that you come back and, like, do it again, and, like, try to learn lessons. Like, when I was little, I had memories of, like, being in New York City and being on a subway that weren't, like, from this lifetime, you know, and they say that when you're little, that's when you have, and like, there's just so many people that have those, and yet, at the same time, I believe in the collective. There's so many times that I've thought up things that weren't mine, and somebody's like, oh, yeah, that's a principle in yoga or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not that smart. Like, I want to think I'm the smartest, but, like, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I may be an open channel. Like, I may be picking things up. But, like, there's not that much... It's not as much power as people want to believe that it is. It's just being open to, like, what's already out there. Like, when you're doing yoga, you're tapping into the energy of... and the collective conscious of all the people doing yoga at that moment. You're doing the same thing when you're getting drunk. But you're also doing the same thing when you're doing comedy. So it's like, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. You know? So I think that there's something that goes on from us. Whether or not we have children or leave behind CDs of dumb jokes or whatever we do. You know, paintings.
Yeah.
Music.
So you think that reincarnation?
I think that it's a thing. But I don't know, there's so many more people now. Like, where are all these new souls coming from?
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of, like...
That's
and then, like, what about when you're dreaming? Like, there's so much going on there. Have you ever had, like, a lucid dream?
Yeah.
Where you, like, know you're dreaming, and then you're like, game on, motherfucker.
But what if, there's a lot of, that, I love doing that. You
I was like, I'm dreaming, I'm gonna go wherever I want.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, next stop, Paris. Going shopping.
That's one thing about reincarnation, though. I was thinking about that, too. Like, there's so many more people now than there used to be. But what if there used to be...
But what about all the gingers? Like, they don't have souls.
They don't have souls, so maybe that's what it is, right? They don't count.
Or, like, what if our souls are splitting... I was thinking about this today. What if our souls are splitting down and down and down, and why... Maybe this is, like, so many people don't feel whole anymore.
Or maybe there was...
Like, what if we just have fractions of, like, the soul that we used to have?
Oh, wow.
And maybe that's why we would have multiple soulmates at this point in our evolution.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe at some point there was only one. and now you're like down to you got like 6 different soulmates.
Well,
And
the
that
whole
makes your
thing with
soul, and which goes into the next. Like we're all part of the same. Like we're all here together for a
have you
reason,
ever heard of
right?
Edgar? Have you ever heard of Edgar Cayce?
I have heard of him. Yes.
Do you know anything about him, or you just heard the name?
I know, like he's like a big prophet in like that whole what used to be called New Age, which is such a horribly
Well,
term, right?
He passed away, I think, in the 60s or so, but he was around in the early 1900s. And he said he would used to go into trances where he would go into like a library and he would talk to people and he would give them readings about their past lives and stuff. And it's really amazing. I read a couple books on it that he had, so I was going to say you should look into it. That kind of goes along with what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that because like you notice like the synchronicities and how like whatever you start paying attention to, you can kind of like draw it to. It's really crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Or if you really want something bad enough, sometimes if you think about something, and I noticed that a lot of things happen. Like, for instance, we were just talking about that the girl that did the special, and I just heard about it, you know.
Exactly, that kind of thing. They talk about this in this, like, kind of documentary called Waking Life, which I watched when I was tripping, which I saw a lot of different things than
tripping
when I
on
watched
what?
it.
Mushrooms or
just life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. Good
You know,
answer.
Good, great answer.
That's a great. I like to trip on life. It's a good answer.
Right, you know, just kick back, trip on life.
Well, we're at an hour, guys. So
wow, that was really fast.
it went by quick, right?
Yeah.
I feel so proud of us.
I know we're doing things, man. We're doing it.
Ah!
All right. Well, thanks for coming by. And,
Do you want to plug shows?
Yeah.
Upcoming shows? Or the class that you want to start?
Yeah, I'm starting a women in comedy class when I get back from Dallas. I'll be in Dallas November 3rd through 10th, and then Austin. So if anybody is for some crazy reason listening that's down in Dallas, I'll be at Gas Monkey Bar and Grill November 4th at 8 p.m.
All right, and how can they find you again on Twitter?
Rebecca Lucente.
How do you spell that?
Lucente. And
Okay,
Rebecca,
guys.
Rebecca.
All right, guys.
Great.
You heard it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Right, thanks.
Oh, that was fun.
All right.
I like where that ended up going. I was like, fuck you, Joe Rogan.